Hey folks, Big Deano here again. This time taking a look at the behemoth himself, the legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Now, thanks to my buddy over in America, I managed to get the SDCC version of this guy, so that's why I'm doing this review first. The other one should be out at the same time, so don't worry about that. And also don't worry, I will be doing a comparison with this guy in that video, if you want to see the differences in colours and things like that. So, as you can see, the sheer size of this guy means that my beloved recording setup is completely ruined, because no camera can put him in frame and not have the sides. So, yeah. Unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with this. Just for these two videos. So anyway, let's take a look at his equally massive box. Yes, it really is that big. Move him out of the way. Try and make sure he doesn't fall, because he'll literally shake the planet if he does. So, this is the original box. It's kind of a gold and, I want to say, deep red, sort of. Yeah, I'd definitely go with deep red. Excuse me. And yeah, you've got the normal toy sticker. Funimation logo, because I did get this from America when it first came out. And Dragon Ball Z logo, Bandai, yada yada. I have no idea what this is. What's Rumb Tamashi? I haven't actually checked the other box to see if that's still on there. But yeah, you've got a nice picture of poor Goku getting his backside handed to him by Broly. And yeah, some nice pictures. All in all, massive, massive box. And it does say on the top, Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. So, yeah. I apologise for my voice, folks. It wasn't disappearing before I started recording, honest. So yeah, let's take a look at the accessories Broly comes with when I put him back into frame. He comes with 3 of these, his little effect parts. Yep, so they're all exactly the same. Some strange reason they have sort of white paint on one side of them but nowhere else. I don't know if that's supposed to be light shining off them. They all have a single peg hole for this, of which you get a stand with massive, massive oversized clamps on them, and this to hold one of these. And it does work really well. Just for comparison's sake, you can just have him holding it like that, blah blah blah. This is pretty much useless, by the way. He stands up perfectly fine on his own, as long as you've got the centre of balance just right. But yeah, the clamp really doesn't work all that well, I'll be honest. Even though it's massive, I mean, yeah. Bigger does not always equal better. Yeah, so anyway, in terms of hands, he comes with 2 blast type hands. 0 details on them, but the colour is actually quite nice. They're a nice skin tone on this Broly. You have fist hands, of which he's got 1, and I just want to point out how massive these hands are. I mean, seriously. Broly could fit into a 1/6 scale display and not look out of place. He really wouldn't. You've got these grippy hands. And in terms of faces, he comes with 3. He comes with 1 screaming face, which is quite good. It does have a weird blotch on there. I've had that since I got it. a bit of paint, I think. He's got his normal. It's got a bit of speck of something there. Oh, I'll fix it in a second. It will come off. Yeah, so normal face. Don't know why you would want to pose him with that, because he never has a normal face. And that one, which I have on him, which is his really sadistic smile sort of face, which anyone who's seen Broly in the movies is well aware of. So yeah, let's swap out a hand, shall we? Just a massive big peg. They haven't used anything else. The one thing I will say is, does it show on this? Where is it? Nope, it doesn't. However, I have been having a little bit of trouble with the edges. The paint slowly seems to just stick to the hands. Ooh, not actually changed the hands on this guy for a while, so they're a bit tight. Let's see. Ah, you can see it there. Yeah, quite bad on that side, to be honest. Yeah, the paint sort of just sticks to the hands instead of where it's supposed to be. Kind of an issue there. Don't know if everybody has that same issue. But, hey-ho. In terms of changing the faces, I have to actually move them to do this. You pop that bit off, pop his face off. He has a rather strange set of joints and stuff. And pop that one back in. So yeah. Yeah, definitely a decent figure, even for his size. In terms of like details and things like that, the hair is sort of, I don't want to say deep yellow. It's kind of like the original Goku's hair colour, and that it's not a sort of orangey yellow, it's more muted. But it does have these nice green lowlights in it to show the fact that his hair isn't the normal Super Saiyan hairstyle. Yeah, comes across quite well. I think I got a good Broly for that, because some people say there's hardly any on theirs. There's quite a lot on mine. Don't know if you can make it out on camera. But yeah. In terms of paint apps on the skin, it's quite nice. He's got a bit of a tan in places, but it's not too overbearing. It's coming across quite pale on camera, but it's not really. You've got some shading on, what is that, his skirt? And some blue shading on his legs, and the obvious gold on his wrists and on his feet. So yeah, in terms of articulation, his head is a strange one. Apologies, my Broly's faces tend to pop out quite easy. If you look, let's pop that off and show you. It's actually a double hinge joint going into the head, and it can actually move quite far, and then it sits in to its own little space at the back. Yeah, quite strange, but considering the heft of this guy, they wanted to give his head as much movement as possible without restricting it. And it does work well most of the time. That's about as far forward as you can get it without the head popping off. And yeah, in some places it can look a bit strange, but you can always put it back to where it was and it'll look fine again. So yeah, no problems there. In terms of, I'm having real trouble actually showing you this. There we go. I'm having to stretch to do this. In terms of the arms, he's got a nice ball joint going into the chest. He's got up, which gets really far, although it does look a bit disjointed at that that far a range. You keep it down, that's about as far as you can get. There's literally no limitations whatsoever. The bicep swivel is really good as well. Double jointed elbows, which for his size is actually not bad at all. He actually gets quite a lot of movement in the hands despite only being a ball joint and not having the hinge. The chest sort of moves, can't get that far. It's the same sort of design as Goku. People keep saying that Goku was the first to have that sort of designed chest, but it wasn't. Broly had it first. There's sort of a peg at the back which hinges up instead of being in the middle. So yeah, you get hinge here and hinges at the side as well, although they are a bit tight and they don't really serve much of a purpose. The back is solid, you can't move that, although it doesn't really get in the way much. He has pull down hips, surprisingly, despite his size. A swivel as well. Double jointed knees, which are really well executed. Well, you can see the cut, but it's all moulded in there. There's no exposed joints or anything. And he has a ball joint. Well, it's more like a hinge and swivel at the bottom for his foot. It can go up that far. There's a toe joint. And it has a nice ankle rocker. So yeah guys, let's get him into a position before we end. Into a position that we can actually see. So yeah guys, that'll do it for this review. Take a wee look at the SDCC version after this one, because it will be getting up at the same time. So yeah guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.